Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris on. Today we're going to be talking about the book High Performance Habits by Burchard. He's a very interesting person who's basically his thought leadership. He talks about always looking towards controlling your habits, becoming an overall more productive person, and he shares some of his personal habits that he likes to introduce into his life and other people's lives in order to make sure that he's maintaining a productive lifestyle. He breaks it into two different types: personal habits, so habits that you can literally apply to your character, and social habits, things to either act whenever you're in social situations or to basically generate around your social circles. I think that definitely speaking, whenever it comes to success, he talks about how if you look at any individual, every single person has a set of habits that they have in place. And in fact, your conscious thoughts create your personal habits, and your personal habits create your circumstances, and from there, your financial future. So if you're an individual who's not necessarily understanding the certainty and why habits is so important towards your success, I definitely think that you should read this book as a sort of interpretation and first step towards understanding the incredible importance of developing your own personal habits. Make sure that you get rid of your bad ones and start developing the good ones. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is understanding the difference between good habits and bad habits. Whenever it develops, I identify it through a bad habit being anything that takes you away or distracts you and makes you unproductive towards whatever your long-term, medium-term, or short-term goals are. A productive habit or a good habit is something that literally makes you more productive or gets you closer to whatever your short-term, medium, or long-term goal is. Now, whenever it comes to overcoming these habits, first thing that people need to understand is how they form. So a habit forms through three steps: cue, routine, reward. So the cue is something basically sets it off. And then the routine is whatever happens throughout the task, and the reward is whatever you get from doing the routine. So let me give them an example. For example, social media. Whenever you're scrolling, the cue is that you might see a thumbnail of a video that you want to watch. The routine is that you watch the whole thing, and the reward is that you feel entertained for that certain amount of time. And it's addictive, and it consistently happens, and all of a sudden you have that habit formed. Now let's talk about specifically bad ones. For example, drinking habits. I think generally speaking, being an alcoholic is considered not the best way to be. Whenever it comes to breaking a bad habit, so many people have this misconception that you can replace it with another bad habit. Well, in truth, all you end up having is two bad habits. Let me give you an example. If you're a drinker and you're like, okay, well, I'll replace drinking instead with soft drink. Now all of a sudden you become addicted to soft drink. No matter what, you're going to get addicted to whatever you consistently do. Now, so many people think that they're able to just break the habit of alcohol, but in reality, you'll end up just switching between both. And the thing about bad habits is that they never go away. Same with good habits. That's why relapses occur. The muscle memory and the ability to do it so fluently might disappear. However, overall, the ability to relapse, fall into that same cycle is very easily, which is why relapses is so common. So whenever looking towards overcoming bad habits, you want to completely replace the time that you're doing it with a complete productive habit. Then you can only ensure that no matter what, you're not creating two bad habits, and instead of developing productivity closer towards getting your goal. And understand that relapses are going to occur. So it's very consistent and very important that you want to learn to develop your own discipline, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you away from it. Only so long can anchoring your environment, surrounding yourself with people that are going to support you getting away from this bad habit will last. Some point along the line, you're going to be basically invested and have a level of reflection where maybe you should relapse and go back towards that bad habit. At some point, you need to make a decision within yourself. What's going to overcome? Your power of discipline or your power of urges? Now, let's go into basically the book. So the book's personal habits. Habits 1 is seek clarity. Habit 2 is generate energy. And number 3 is reach necessity. So let's talk about number 1, seek clarity. Whenever it comes to understanding what you want to do, you definitely want to have a level of clarity. Understanding that if you want to create productive habits to get you closer to your goal, you first need to understand what it is that you want to look towards doing long term. Have clarity around it. Know exactly what it is that you're looking and setting out to accomplish. For example, if you're wanting to be a sports star and your goal is, I just want to go to the NBA. That's a very not specific, non-clarified goal. But if you go, I want to be at the NBA by this amount of time, in order to get there, I need to be able to shoot this percentage, I need to be able to add this weight, I need to be able to jump this high, and you have a level of clarity behind your goals. It's sort of as if you understand the specifics behind it. Just like how when you're shooting an arrow, it's hard to hit the target if you don't know what you're aiming for. So if you can be as specific as possible and have clarity around the goal that you're looking towards trying to achieve, obviously productive habits are naturally going to follow. So making sure that whenever you start looking towards setting up good habits, make sure you know exactly what it is that you're looking towards accomplish. Seek clarity. Then you can basically follow it with a backup action plan and so on and so on and so on. The next one is generating energy. Now this one's tough because it talks about motivation. It understands that motivation is something that is great when it's there and is bad when it's gone. Long after the decision is made, motivation fades, and what needs to overcome, once again, is discipline. So whenever you're trying to instill these habits, you want to look towards maximizing on the initial motivation that you have in order to help form it, but expect for it to go away. Think about motivation as a person. Would you want to hang around someone who's only there when the times are great and the success is present, or when you initially just start, or a relationship with a girlfriend or a boyfriend where the first weeks are great and then everything else between it's terrible, but once you become successful, he's there or she's there again? Well, no, you wouldn't. So why would you rely on an emotion like that? Look towards forming your discipline, but capitalize on motivation while it's there. And the next one is reach necessity. See, the mother of invention comes from necessity. So if you can view your goals as something that is a necessity, something that you have to accomplish, it is do or it is die. You will not be able to have any type of second, that you can't fall short, you have to look towards accomplishing it, then that makes your goal more than a reality, but no option. You have to achieve it in order to survive. If you can start viewing things like that or setting up your environment accordingly, then of course you're going to get closer towards doing it. The amount of times that people change during traumatic experiences is ridiculous. For example, whenever it comes, I've seen so many people cure themselves of alcoholism because they're about to lose their kids. And it's a shame that happens, but it's very simple to understand why. It's because trauma, necessity ends up creating change. So if you can trick your mind or develop a scenario or an environment where that is set up, then success is just that much closer and less farther away. The next one is social habits. The first one is increase your overall productivity. You don't want to hang around people that make you unproductive. That's an obvious. If you're looking towards becoming a sports star, you want to hang around people who are looking towards having that same goal. And that's the same thing whenever it comes to success. If you're running a business, hang around business owners. If you're wanting to run a ministry, hang around people within your ministry. Don't hang around people who are going to make you unproductive, distracting you from your goal. If you don't want to go out, don't hang around people who want to make you and force you to go out. That's a pretty simple one. So make sure that you anchor your environment by hanging around the people that are going to make you more productive towards your goal. Next one is develop influence. Of course, networking is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. So you definitely want to look towards increasing this. The people that you have is not necessarily what you know, but who you know and how you present yourself to these people. Increase your influence, increase your potential income, increase your opportunity to achieve whatever goal that you're looking towards accomplishing. There are so many people who definitely would have been successful in so many different aspects if they knew the right people. That's including sport, that's including business, that's including anything that you look into towards. So obviously the person who's most well connected has the most opportunity. So look towards developing that. The next one is demonstrate courage. Whenever you're in a new situation, try to subside your fear with action. The only thing that overcomes fear is action. If you're looking towards climbing up a diving board and you're left with the decision to jump off, the anticipation, the fear is at an all-time high. The only way to get rid of that is number one, change the goal. Don't jump off the diving board. Change it and basically regret whatever it is that you're always wanting to accomplish. Or number two, action. Action is the only thing that demonstrates fear. Utilizing the courage that you have whenever you're in a room, whenever you're specifically leading your team, especially if you're in a leadership position, always be the first person willing to put their hand up to do the task that everybody else doesn't want to do. Not only will it set the standard that you're an individual who leads by action and leads by example, it also inspires everybody else around you, especially if you're in a leadership position, to follow in suit. So you always want to be the first person to look towards doing the courageous task to inspire the rest of the others around you. If you combine all the traits and all the habits that I'm talking about, there's no doubt that you'll definitely be one step further, or specifically 6 steps closer towards the goal that you're looking towards achieve. So to summarize, there are personal habits and social habits. Personal habits is seek clarity. Always understand what it is that you're setting out to accomplish. Action and failing forward is a very easy way in order to understand this, but specifically do as much theory as you possibly can whenever it comes to understanding what it is that you're setting out to achieve. The next one is generate energy. Capitalize on the motivation that you have, rely on the discipline when it's not there. The days that you don't feel like doing it are the times that you have to do it the most. Setting a habit involves doing it more days than you don't, and then it starts to become easier because you've set up a lifestyle for yourself. Raise necessity. You always want to view the things that you have to do or want to do as things that are necessity. The mother of invention comes from necessity. Whenever you feel as if you have to succeed, you will. Next one, social habits, is increase productivity. Hang around people that increase your productivity. That's an obvious one. Hang around people who force you to level it up. You always want to be the dumbest person in the room, not the smartest, because that way you're always consistently growing. Next one is develop influence. Your network is your net worth. This one's obvious. The person who knows the most people has the most opportunities. So look towards diversifying and creating a larger pool of influence. Finally, demonstrate courage. Whenever it comes to fear, look to being the first person who attacks it. Action is the only thing that gets rid of it and the only way to satisfy you and gets you closer to your goal. Anyways, guys, that's it for Quick Notes with Chrisan. Thanks for watching the video. I highly suggest you don't stop there whenever it comes to improvement. Keep looking at the other videos that we do have on the channel to keep striving for an improvement and putting yourself in a better position for success. I'm Chrisan, and I'll see you guys in the next video.